The US has blamed the Haqqani network, an armed group allied with the Taliban, for an overnight attack on Kabul. More than a dozen people were killed during the siege that lasted almost 20 hours. The US Embassy and NATO headquarters came under attack by 6 gunmen. They'd taken up positions in an empty office block overlooking the diplomatic area. The US ambassador to Afghanistan has played down the attacks.
This really is not a very big deal. Hard day for the embassy and my staff, who behaved with enormous courage and dedication. Look, a half a dozen RPG rounds from 800 meters away, that isn't Tet. That's harassment. If that's the best they can do, I think it is actually a statement of their weakness. And more importantly, since Kabul is in the hands of Afghan security, it's a real credit to the Afghan National Security Forces.
Well, joining us now is Jalal Rabbani. He was an advisor to a former Afghan president and is currently a political consultant on Afghan affairs. Good to have you with us. Ryan Crocker there was downplaying the strength of the Haqqani network after its attack on Kabul. Is he right, or is the Haqqani network a real threat to Afghanistan's stability?
I believe the Haqqanis have been a very effective tool to be used by the elements of foreign intelligence services to destruction of Afghanistan. I believe His Excellency the Ambassador is wrong in his assessment. And
the Haqqani is based in Pakistan's tribal regions, isn't it? I mean, that must be a big source of tension with Islamabad. They must be asking, why aren't these fighters being rooted out?
Unfortunately, this is where we understand the problem completely differently and wrong, because the Haqqanis traditionally are very close culturally with the people of Waziristan, which happens to be presently in the Pakistani side of the border, all the way to the coast. These people are from the same tribes, they speak the same language, and they're very much, the Pashtun culture requires them to be very stuck together and defend each other no matter what, at what cost, against the apparent foreign invasion.
But it is thought that they have strong links with Pakistan's intelligence services, isn't it?
There's absolutely not a doubt. I mean, nobody could justify otherwise, because they have been operating from the territories of Pakistan, and the Pakistani government and the officials within the army intelligence of the ICE are very well aware of this fact, and indeed this is a problem. I think also the NATO, United Nations, and the friendly countries of the peace-loving nations are also aware of this problem, and I think it is about time that they address the situation with the Pakistani bad boys.
Now, historically, the Haqqanis were an aid for the US back in the days of the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. In fact, the leader of the Haqqanis, Jalaluddin Haqqani, was a big help to the CIA. Is that why the group is so well armed and so well organized?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. There is no doubt in this, because if we see the past recent terrorist activities that the Haqqanis have been involved with, especially the murder of more than 5 CIA personnel and their Afghan friends at their base in Khost, was a very much proof of that fact, that they know how the CIA and particularly these intelligence services and their comrades on ground think, operate, and also have been in contact with them. Most of them probably, and I'm pretty sure, know them personally.
You're obviously aware that Karzai's government has made moves towards negotiating with members of the Taliban. Is there any scope for negotiation with the Haqqanis?
Well, the Haqqanis, there is absolutely not a way to speak with the Haqqanis. They don't have an address. They don't, you cannot reach them unless, they have some family members, traveling within the Gulf states and Saudi Arabia in particular.
Yes, but you could make it clear that you are willing to negotiate with them. Would the Haqqanis be willing to negotiate in return?
I don't think so. The Haqqanis will be doing exactly what the ISI tells them to do.
Okay, good to talk with you. Thank you very much indeed for your analysis there. Jalal Rabbani speaking to us live from Ottawa in Canada.
My pleasure, ma'am.